Welcome to our session on sample size determination for the one-sample t-test. We'll explore how to select the right sample size using Minitab's power and sample size functionality, ensuring a balance between statistical rigor and practical considerations. Selecting the right sample size is one of the most important decisions in any statistical study. The sample size directly affects the reliability, accuracy, and confidence of the conclusions drawn from the data. If the sample size is too small, the study may not have enough statistical power to detect a real difference or process change. As a result, important improvements or problems may go unnoticed, leading to incorrect conclusions and poor decision-making. On the other hand, if the sample size is too large, the study may require unnecessary time, cost, and resources. It may also detect differences that are statistically significant but too small to have any practical business or engineering value. For a one-sample t-test, selecting the correct sample size helps determine whether a process mean is significantly different from a target value. An appropriate sample size ensures that the study provides trustworthy results while balancing statistical confidence with practical considerations such as cost, time, and effort. Every hypothesis test involves the risk of making an incorrect decision. There are two types of errors that can occur, and understanding them is important when designing a study and selecting an appropriate sample size. Type 1. Error, alpha, occurs when the null hypothesis, H0, is rejected even though it is actually true. This is known as a false positive or a false alarm. For example, a company may conclude that a process improvement is effective when, in reality, no improvement has occurred. The probability of making a type 1 error is represented by alpha, which is commonly set at 0.05. Type 2 error, beta, occurs when the null hypothesis, H0, is not rejected even though it is actually false. This is known as a false negative or a missed detection. For example, a real process improvement exists, but the study fails to identify it. The ability to correctly detect a real difference is called statistical power, which is calculated as 1 infinity beta. Higher power means a greater chance of detecting meaningful changes when they truly exist. Type 1. Error, or alpha, is a false positive, rejecting a true null hypothesis, often set at 5%. Type 2. Error, or beta, is a false negative, failing to reject a false null hypothesis, with thresholds between 10% and 20%. Choose alpha and beta based on the cost of errors in your context.
Statistical power is the probability of correctly detecting a real difference or improvement when one truly exists. It measures how likely a statistical test is to identify a meaningful effect and reject a false null hypothesis. Statistical power is calculated as power equals 1 infinity beta, where beta represents the probability of making a type 2 error. A study with high statistical power has a greater chance of detecting real process changes, improvements, or differences. This means there is a lower risk of missing important effects that could impact quality, performance, or decision-making. As a result, high-power studies produce more reliable conclusions and increase confidence in the results. Conversely, a study with low statistical power has a higher likelihood of failing to detect a real difference even when it exists. This increases the risk of making a type 2 error and may lead to incorrect conclusions that no improvement has occurred. A statistical power of 80%, 0.8, or higher is commonly recommended. This means there is at least an 80% chance of detecting a meaningful effect if it truly exists. Statistical power is influenced by 4 key factors: sample size, n, effect size, delta, significance level, alpha, and process variation, sigma. Increasing the sample size, reducing variation, or detecting larger effects can improve statistical power and strengthen the reliability of study results.
The cereal box problem involves ensuring each cereal box is filled to exactly 250 grams. The manufacturer must maintain a strict deviation limit of no more than 3 grams to ensure quality and avoid financial or legal issues. The target fill weight for each cereal box is 250 grams. Deviations above this reduce profits, while those below risk complaints and legal issues. A detectable difference of plus or minus 3 grams is crucial, as anything beyond is unacceptable. The process standard deviation is estimated at 10 grams from prior studies. We are examining the formal hypothesis for our process. The null hypothesis, H0, states that the true process mean is 250 grams. The alternative hypothesis, H1, suggests the mean differs from 250 grams. This is a two-sided test, considering deviations in both directions. Key parameters for sample size include an alpha of 0.05, indicating the type 1 error rate. The target power is 0.80, ensuring a minimum probability of detecting a 3-gram difference. The detectable difference is set at 3 grams, with a process standard deviation of 10 grams. To find the right tool in Minitab, go to the Stat menu, select Power and Sample Size, then choose one sample T. Enter the detectable difference, standard deviation, and desired power. Minitab will automatically calculate the required sample size. Minitab calculates a required sample size of 90 to achieve an actual power of 80.38%, slightly surpassing the target power of 0.80. This ensures the statistical test's reliability and precision. The Minitab output summary shows a one-sample t-test with a two-sided approach. The null hypothesis is that the mean equals 250 grams. We aim to detect a 3-gram difference with an alpha of 0.05 and sigma of 10 grams. A sample size of 90 achieves a power of 0.8038, slightly above the 0.80 target. When determining sample size, it is important to remember that bigger is not always better. While a larger sample size increases statistical power, an excessively large sample can make a study overly sensitive and detect differences that are statistically significant but have little or no practical value. For example, a study with a very large sample may identify a 0.01 gram difference in serial weight as statistically significant. However, such a small difference may not affect product quality, customer satisfaction, or business performance. Collecting and analyzing thousands of samples to detect a trivial difference may result in unnecessary cost, time, and effort. Therefore, before conducting a study, teams should define a meaningful effect size by working with subject matter experts. The effect size should represent the smallest difference that is important from a business, customer, or engineering perspective. The goal is not to maximize the sample size, but to select an optimal sample size that can detect meaningful differences while using resources efficiently. In summary, statistical significance should always be balanced with practical significance to ensure that study results lead to valuable and actionable decisions. R.A. Fisher, in 1926, discussed significance thresholds, suggesting flexibility in setting them. He preferred a 5% significance level, but acknowledged alternatives like 2% or 1% for stricter criteria. This highlights the importance of choosing appropriate thresholds based on study needs. When determining the sample size for a statistical study, it is important to balance type 1 error alpha and type 1 error alpha based on the business impact and risk of making the wrong decision. The acceptable error rates should reflect the real consequences of false alarms and missed detections, rather than relying solely on standard statistical conventions. Organizations should aim for a statistical power of at least 80%, 0.80. This provides a high probability of detecting a meaningful difference when one truly exists and reduces the risk of overlooking important process changes or improvements. Before calculating the sample size, it is important to work with subject matter experts to define a meaningful effect size. The effect size should represent a difference that is practically important to the business, customer, or process, rather than a purely statistical difference. Finally, tools such as Minitab power and sample size can help determine the optimal sample size quickly and accurately. By carefully balancing error rates, power, effect size, and sample size, organizations can conduct studies that are both statistically reliable and cost-effective.